What up, guys? So recently I was talking to one of my white belts. I was helping him out with a detail from mount, and I was showing him a technique. The technique is something that we've been doing at the gym for a long time. I remember in like 2012, 2013, somewhere around that time frame, I remember we had a big team getting ready for a competition. We went over this move, and the dang thing ended up being like a cheat code, because it was just like every one of our guys that got to mount, including my black belt Chad back, I think he was a blue belt at the time, we got to that position, used this technique from mount, and ended up setting up a lot of submissions, back takes, things like that. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do it if you like using mount and you're looking for an option. As always, my lovely assistant, Mr. Adam Wilson here, is gonna help me show you how to do the technique. Let's get started. When I go for this movement, let's say if I'm gonna be pushing this arm across, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a baseball bat grip here. So I'm gonna go across, I'm gonna grab the wrist with my middle finger and thumb primarily right here, and then this hand's gonna be here. And then what I'm gonna do is, instead of just pushing the arm straight across, because if he's holding his hands really tight, it's tough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this arm towards me. What this does is it gets it away from the body, and out here, Adam's gonna be weaker. You can just think about this. If your arm's here, it's gonna be stronger than if it's out away from your body. And then from here, I'm gonna force this arm down. Now the idea is that as soon as I get here, he feels threatened, right? His shoulder's in danger. He thinks I'm gonna go for something, and I can begin to attack this key lock. Now, the most common reaction, and this is what was happening for all my students, and this will happen even at a higher level. Like I've used this at black belt before in competition effectively, right? So take that for what you will. Is that when I push this arm down, a lot of people's reaction is to immediately, because they feel threatened, is to turn. And as they turn, we need to release a little bit of space, because here's what's happening. I'm on Adam right now, and obviously I'm being very light right now, but if I was really rolling with Adam, I'm putting down a good amount of weight. So as Adam's turning, he's gonna have to compensate for my weight, right? And so as he starts to turn, as soon as I feel him lift, I wanna open up space. What that's going to do is that's gonna take my weight off of him, and so he's overcompensating for my weight, and then as soon as I let up, he's gonna overturn a little bit. So what ends up happening is it's almost like, you know, if you were pushing into someone, and then all of a sudden they just walked out of the way. Later, Eugene. See ya. And then from here, we're pushing down. Now we've got into this spot. Now, here's what we wanna do next. After he's overturned, he's exposed himself, we wanna drop our weight down, and I like to get my chest down on the back of the tricep, and I'll show you what this looks like in just a second. I wanna get this knee behind the back. And then right here, you have a ton of options. Obviously, I could immediately start to attack with collar chokes. I could scoop, hook, go for the armbar. And for competition, what a lot of our guys were doing was taking the back, because in a competition with points, getting to the back is 4 points. It's a pretty good thing to do. So we would get the gift wrap here and immediately turn back. Now, let's take a look at this, and I'll show you guys what it looks like on the back end. So again, same idea. We're here, he's keeping his arms tucked in tight. I'm going across the arm. So again, if I'm going this direction, my hand that's on top, I like to grab underhanded. My other hand, I like to grow overhanded. So I've got this baseball bat grip just like that. I'm gonna pull it away from his body and then press it out. As he begins to turn, I feel his hip lifting. I open up my hip by posting to my foot on whatever side he's turning to. And again, he is going to turn to this arm. So as I feel him turning, open up, put my weight down, and I like to bring my knee right to the base of the neck. This way there's this little block right behind his back, so he can't turn back towards me. And then from here, we have our arm bars, our chokes, and then if not, we can take our back by simply going here, boom, getting 2 hooks in. So look guys, the 2-on-1 is very simple. It's so simple that a lot of times people won't pay much attention to it. It's not something crazy, it's very easy to do. But again, if you're in mount and you're looking for an option, this is a really good one. And again, if you're a white belt, a lot of times white belts simply don't have early on, they don't have the maturity to be smart about it, and they typically will panic when their arm gets exposed, and they'll really go for that turn. But that said, as I said before, I've used this at black belt before, so it works even at a higher level if you put that person into a compromised position. So it's a good move, great move. And like I said, early on, like some years ago, I remember having all the guys do this, getting ready for a competition, and it was like a cheat code. Everybody hit the darn move when they got to mount, and almost everybody got to back or got an arm bar from it. So just a tip to help all the white belts out there in case you're interested in that move, or anybody that wants to play around with it. And I think I'm finished. Adam?
Adam.